For the respiration, the general respiration, different type of respiratory organs that are found in phylum Arthropoda. So we have already completed the different type of respiratory organs which are found in aquatic arthropods. Okay, that is gills, then the types of gills, then epipod, branchiostagite, rectile gills, blood gills, then book gills. We have already completed this part. In today's lecture we will study what are the different type of respiratory organs that are found in aerial terrestrial arthropods. Okay, who have developed a aerial mode of locomotion. Okay, so aerial respiration involves the utilization of oxygen which is present in the air. Okay, whereas in aquatic respiration, what happens? The in aquatic respiration involves the utilization of oxygen which is get dissolved in the water. Okay, similarly here in aerial respiration they will utilize the oxygen which is there in the air. Okay, which is present in the air, and the aerial respiration occurs in the terrestrial arthropods. The respiratory organs of aerial respiration are there are different types, that is tracheal system, book lungs, then simple lungs, um, air tubes, then spiracular gills, plastrons, and respiratory tubes. Okay, so there are 7 different types of respiratory organs which are found in the terrestrial arthropod for respiration. Okay, so first we will start with the tracheal system. The tracheal system is found in the insects, centipedes, millipedes, and many arachnids. Okay, and it is a system of the tube in which there are ramifying the body. Okay, and this tracheal system consists of spiracles, then tracheae, then tracheolus, and the air sac. Okay, so first we will see the spiracle. The spiracles are the opening, or it forms the opening for the tracheal system to the exterior. Okay, and they are also termed as a stigmata. They are located at the side of the thorax, and in some insect they have like 9 to 10 pairs of spiracles. Okay, and this 9 to 10 pairs of spiracles are further located. The first two will be located at the side of the thorax, whereas the remaining it may be like 9 minus 2, it may be 7 or 8, will be placed or located at the side of the abdomen. Okay, and in most of the insect, this spiracles opens into the cavity called as a atrium, and this atrium will be formed a means from this atrium there will be trachea will be arises. Okay, and this atrium is provided with the air filtering apparatus. So what will be the function of this air filtering apparatus? The air filtering apparatus will keeps away the dust and the parasite. Okay, which comes when we inhale when insect inhales the air, that time along with the oxygen molecules there are dust, parasites, and other uh, atoms or elements are there. So this air filtering apparatus will make sure that it purifies the air, it will keep away the dust and parasites. Okay, and there is also a valve is present in the atrium, and this valve can close the spiracle whenever it is required. Okay, second is the tracheae. This tracheae is a highly branched tube, and the wall of tracheae is formed of 3 layers: the inner intima, the middle layer termed as the epithelium, and an outer layer called as a basement membrane. Okay. The intima is produced into spiral thread-like structure, which is called as a tenidia. Okay. And the third part of the tracheal system is the tracheolis. The tracheolis is the smallest branches of the tracheae that are tracheae, and this tracheolis will be devoid of tenidia. Tenidia, what? Tenidia is a in the this spiracles, the inner layer, that is intima, will be formed into spiral thread line, which is termed as tenidia. So this tenidia will be absent in the tracheolis, and the end uh, like the tracheolis, the end of the tracheolis is in the form of tissue, and the terminal end of the of tracheolis will be filled with the fluid called as a tracheoly fluid. Okay. Then last part, that is the fourth part of the tracheal system, is the air sac. The air sac will be found, or it is the dilated form of the tracheae. The dilated form of the tracheae will give rise to the air sac, and they help in the store of the air and to circulate air in the tracheal system. So, this air sac will be the dilated form of the trachea will give rise to the air sac, and this air sac will help in the storage of the air, and it also circulates the air in the tracheal system. Okay, and there are three types of tracheal system, that are polyneostic, oligoneostic, and amniotic. Okay, or neostic. The tracheal system, and in a polyneostic tracheal system, it is formed of 8 or more pairs of spiracles, okay, which are functional. Whereas in oligoneostic, what happens? Only one or two spiracles are functional. Okay, whereas a neostic type, in that no functional spiracles are found. Okay, so the types of tracheal system is based on the presence of spiracles which are functional. Okay, so in polyneostic tracheal system, what happens? There are 8 or more pairs of the spiracles which are functional, whereas oligo means one, single. So oligo, in what happens in oligo, either one or two spiracles are functional, whereas aneostics means absent, so no functional spiracles are present. Okay. Then next is the mechanism of tracheal system. When air is drawn into and forced out of the tracheal system through a spiracle, it forms an alternate expansion and a contraction of the body. Okay, and the air that is entered in a tracheolis will forms the the tracheolis will be having a tracheoly fluid which absorbs the oxygen, and this oxygen get diffused into the tissue. Similarly, the carbon dioxide from the tissue diffuses into the tracheolis. So this is the mechanism how the tracheal respiration takes place. Okay. The next type of respiratory system which are found in arthropods is simple lungs. The simple lungs will be found in a terrestrial coconut crab, that is Birgus, Birgus. Okay, and the upper part of the gill chamber is separated from the rest as an almost a closed air filled cavity called as a lung, and this cavity or the lung will be having a highly vascular epithelial fold which will be hang from the roof of the cavity and carry an aerial respiration. Okay. The next type of respiratory organ is the air tube. The air tubes are found in a terrestrial crustacean, for example in Onychus, that is Onychus, okay, and it contains a trachea like a respiratory tube, which will be present in the abdominal appendages for aerial respiration. Okay, the next type of spiracular gills, next type of respiratory organ is the spiracular gills. The spiracular gills are ectodermal outgrowth which will be enclosed by a air spaces, and they have a connection with the trachea, and they are mostly found in the larvae of pupa in the larval or the pupal stage, for example in simulium. Okay, the next type of respiratory organ is the plastron. This type of respiratory organ, that is a plastron, will be found in the aquatic beetles like Himonia, then phytobius. Okay, and this is a kind of respiratory system in which the air store in the region of the spiracle, and this air store is called as a plastron. Okay, so the spiracles will be having a one region where the air will be stored, and this region will be termed as a plastron. It is covered with the hydrofuge hairs, and it will be communicates with the spiracle, and this air store will help the insect to remain underwater for long time. Okay, the next type of respiratory system is the respiratory tubes. Then the respiratory tubes are found in the water scorpions, and like Nepa and Ranatra. Okay, uh, they are located at the posterior end of the abdomen, and each respiratory tube is formed of two cerium, CERCI. This they are found in the water scorpions. When the water scorpions comes to the surface, they will fill the respiratory tube with the atmospheric air, and this air can be used for respiration when the scorpion is under water. Okay, and this type of respiratory system is also found in the mosquito larva. um, and in the mosquito larva, what happens, the respiratory tube is also found at the posterior end. Okay, the next type of an important type of another respiratory organ, that is the book lungs. I The book lungs are the respiratory organ which is specially found in a scorpion. Okay, and during the during general characteristic, I have already focused on this type book lungs. Uh, Remember, uh, this book lungs are the found in the pairs, that is the four pairs of book lungs will be found, which will be located in the third, fourth, fifth and sixth segment of the mesosoma, which is in which one pair mesosoma, that is mesothoracic region, and they will be present, one pair will be present in each segment. Okay, and each book lungs will be opened out by the oblique slit called as a stigma. Okay, in this picture you can see na stigma. From a stigma forms the opening. Okay, oblique slit like stigma which will be form an opening for the book lungs to the exterior. Okay, and the cavity of each book lung is lined by a thin cuticle which is formed into numerous folds called as a lamellae. Okay, and this lamellae will be arranged parallel to one another, giving the appearance of the leaves of a book. That's why it is termed as a book lungs. Okay, and there are around 150 lamellae, and there will be a they will be hollow, which will be filled with the blood. Okay, and each stigma leads into a small chamber called as a atrial chamber. Okay, this atrial chamber, after the sternum comes the atrial chamber. So stigma will lead into the atrial chamber, and the atrial chamber will further lead into the pulmonary chamber. Okay, and the pulmonary chamber, in which a lamellae are arranged. Okay, and air from the outside will enter the chamber and passes into the spaces between the leaves, and the blood will flow continuously in the spaces inside the lamellae. So there will be lamellar spaces are filled with the air, so that exchange of gases takes place. So there is a continuous flow of the blood in a pulmonary chamber, whereas in an interlamellar space there will be continuous flow of the air. So the diffusion, the exchange of oxygen can continuously takes place through the thin wall of the lamellae. Okay, so and the impure blood from the ventral sinus is sent back to the book lungs, and the blood is then aerated in the lamellae. Okay, and the aerated blood, that is the oxygenated blood, is like collected by the pulmonary vein, which will be opens into the pericardial sinus, and the inspiration and the expiration of the air in the book lung is controlled by the dorsoventral and atrial muscle. Okay, so here the dorsoventral and atrial muscle will control the inhalation and exhalation of the air into the book lungs. Okay, so this is about the book lung of the scorpion. With this we have completed the type of respiratory and sorry, not type of respiratory organs that are found in a terrestrial arthropod. Okay, if you have any question regarding this respiration or the any other topic which I have already dealt with regarding phylum Arthropoda, then please let me know. We have completed the phylum Arthropoda, and in next lecture we will start the new phylum. Okay, thank you.